Aloha, I'm Jen Cram with the Breckenridge Arts District, and I'm very excited to be here today with Kira Kamamalu from Kona, Hawaii. Kira is a figure painter, and she'll be here at the Tin Shop through April 30th, and you can come by and see her during open studio hours Thursday through Sunday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And Kira will also be teaching a workshop for children. This is really exciting for all of the kids here in Summit County. And it's called Paint Like Picasso.
Mm-hmm. Paint Like Picasso.
Awesome. And that will be on Monday, April 21st from 3:15 to 5 o'clock. Can you tell us a little bit about what the kids will get to do during that workshop?
Sure. It's a workshop I developed that really, because I'm a figure painter, I deal with a lot of students that are worried about form and figure and correct hands and correct faces. Paint Like Picasso is a course I developed so that we can release our judgment on ourselves, and kids are very good at doing that. I enjoy working with the kids in the Paint Like Picasso classes because the stuff they come up with is absolutely brilliant. It also gives them an experience where they were good from the start, because Picasso, right?
Yes.
Anything goes.
Right.
So it's fun for kids to have a course where they were good from the start, they have a piece they can take home, and they know they can also be an artist.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested in registering for the Paint Like Picasso, you can do so by calling the Arts District hotline at 970-453-3364, or you can also go to the website www.breckarts.com, and all the materials are included. The kids will get to paint on a canvas board using acrylic paints and brushes, so it's going to be a wonderful experience. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
And what will you be working on while you're here at the Tin Shop?
For my own work, I will always have a lot of projects going on so that I can turn my attentions to different things at different times for anytime I find inspiration. What I'll be currently working on is a Saloon Girl series inspired by Breckenridge, which totally came about while I was here, and it was really fun. I love the history of this town. And the Saloon Girl series is so fun because you walk into the Gold Pan Saloon or the Briar Rose, and you can really imagine yourself here 150 years ago.
Right.
You know, when people were really searching for gold, and so I'll have a couple of those pieces in the works. I'm hoping to get them into a restaurant here or a cafe here locally as kind of my return or my give back to the community for this awesome opportunity I've had here at the Tin Shop.
Awesome.
Another program project I'm working on is a Hawaiian comic book. It's a very big stretch for me. I am typically a realism painter, a figure painter, and I work with a palette knife, typically. So this comic book is a good challenge for me, but we have wonderful history and stories from Hawaii of our own gods and goddesses. We have demigods that have powers. We have a lot of deities that have their own stories that are familiar with Tahiti, Samoa, a lot of Polynesia. So I'll be working on a comic book infusing our local lore into my figures, which is really exciting.
Wonderful.
And it's fun to say it out loud that I'm doing it because now I have to do it. It's a big challenge. I'm also working on a couple commissions here that I work on regularly because I do portraits. Portraiture is another specialty of mine. So I did bring a few of those Hawaiian commissions up here to work in Breckenridge to share with the community here.
I learned something interesting about your painting technique yesterday at your public reception, that you paint not only with brushes, but also with a palette knife. And the Saloon Girl series in particular, you're using the palette knife. Can you talk a little bit about that process? It
Sure.
seems very challenging.
Yeah, and it's actually what I started with.
Okay.
I was a palette knife painter first and learned brush technique later.
Wow.
I actually went to a master painter and asked him to please teach me to learn how to use brushes. So yes, I started off with palette knife primarily. I have learned brushes from then on. I've been using brushes, but palette knife has always been my favorite.
Yeah.
And anytime I do a purely palette knife painting, I love the outcome. And so I know that's really where my technique and my talents lie. It brings a lot of texture out. I feel like it keeps my pigments very sharp, very clean, whereas a brush can mix a lot of the layers.
Right.
And sometimes you want that effect.
Yeah.
But as a young artist, I like high contrast,
Yeah.
high pigmentation, and lots of texture.
Right, and you also mentioned that you can work really quickly and loosely and
Very loosely.
still get the expression and the emotion in there.
Exactly, and it's really unheard of to paint figures with a knife.
Wow.
That's really unheard of throughout the world, really. So it's been really fun to be different.
Yes, well, I enjoy it. And you're also working on some pieces that you hope to transfer into some textiles.
Yes.
That is awesome.
Yes. I'm always looking for different ways for art to be a part of our everyday life. Not only in canvas, but I want to make sure that art really as an industry is unlimited in the possibilities.
Right.
So anytime I get an idea, I usually run it by my mother. She tells me
a great support.
if it's a good idea or a crazy idea. So I always come up with these different ideas.
Yeah.
And I had a very simplistic Hawaiian Art Deco series. And I wanted to convert them into textiles in order to do a new vintage line of tablecloths and pillowcases and napkins. We have a very rich textile history in Hawaii that actually doesn't exist anymore because of our unions when we became a state in 1959. But I really would love to bring back those high quality home decor ideas with a little bit of a vintage twist, but new.
Wonderful. And I love coming into the tin shop with the tapestries that you have out and the lighting and everything. It's definitely a fresh break from our winter here. So I encourage all of you to come by the tin shop and visit with Kira, see what she's working on while she's here. The tin shop is a wonderful opportunity for artists to come and live and work here in Breckenridge, and for all of you to have an opportunity to meet them. If you haven't been by the tin shop yet, we are located at 117 East Washington Avenue in the growing Arts District. Thanks, Kira.
Thank you, and thank you to Jen and the Breckenridge Arts District for this wonderful opportunity as an artist to be able to do this.